Commander Vazik stared through the observation port, mandibles clicking in frustration as the tiny blue planet rotated serenely below. "You mean to tell me," he growled, "that these hairless primates have somehow managed to detect our cloaking technology?" "Yes, Commander," Science Officer Telara replied, her 6 eyes blinking in sequence. "Their primitive radar systems should not have been capable of it. But the evidence suggests they have been tracking our movements for at least 3 lunar cycles." Vazik snorted, a sound that resembled a garbage disposal choking on silverware. "Impossible. Their technology is barely past combustion engines and pocket calculators." "With all due respect, sir," Telara continued, sliding a data pad across the polished surface of the command table, "these humans are unusual." "Unusual?" Vazik picked up the pad with one of his secondary appendages. "That's a diplomatic way of putting it. Last week they were still arguing about whether their talking picture boxes were rotting their brains, and now they are suddenly capable of detecting Krivlaxian stealth systems? Systems that have successfully infiltrated civilizations 5 tiers above them." Communications Officer Dren cleared his throat from across the bridge. "Commander, incoming transmission from High Command." "Put it through." Vazik sighed, straightening his exoskeletal uniform. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the imposing figure of Grand Admiral Morax, her chitinous faceplates arranged in what passed for a scowl among their species. "Commander Vazik," she began without preamble, "I understand there have been complications." "Minor setbacks, Grand Admiral," Vazik replied, trying to sound more confident than he felt. "The humans have shown unexpected resourcefulness, but nothing that will impede our overall mission timetable." "Is that so?" Morax leaned forward, her image distorting slightly. "Then perhaps you can explain why 3 of our scout ships were detected, surrounded, and forced to retreat from Earth's atmosphere yesterday?" Vazik felt his third stomach drop. "I was not aware of this incident, Grand Admiral." "Clearly," Morax said, her voice dripping with sarcasm so thick you could spread it on toast. "Commander, the Galactic Council is growing impatient. Earth was supposed to be a simple acquisition. Their resources are valuable, but their civilization is technologically insignificant. This should have been completed within 1 standard rotation. Instead, we are now entering the 3rd phase with minimal progress." "The humans are adaptable," Vazik offered weakly. "Adaptable," Morax repeated flatly. "Vazik, do you know what happens to commanders who fail to meet acquisition deadlines?" "They are reassigned to the methane mines of Drox V," Vazik replied automatically, suppressing a shudder. "Precisely. You have 30 rotations to complete this mission, or you will be breathing methane for the next 20 cycles. Am I clear?" "Crystal clear, Grand Admiral," Vazik said, immediately regretting his choice of words as he remembered the banned term list. "Good. I expect daily progress reports from now on." The transmission cut abruptly, leaving the bridge in uncomfortable silence. Vazik turned to his crew, all of whom were suddenly very interested in their control panels. "Well? Don't just sit there like stunned grazers. Someone give me options." Tactical Officer Palax raised a tentacle hesitantly. "Sir, we could attempt a direct approach. Our battlecruisers outclass anything the humans possess, and advertise our presence to the entire sector." Vazik snapped. "The Council wants this to be a clean acquisition, no visible invasion force." "We could try a biological approach," suggested Medical Officer Jackson. "Their immune systems are remarkably simple, and risk contaminating the very resources we are trying to harvest." "No. No." Telara, who had been quietly analyzing data at her station, spoke up. "Commander, I believe I have identified a potential weakness." All eyes on the bridge turned to her. "The humans have a remarkably fragmented governing system," she explained, bringing up a global map on the main display. "Unlike most species at their development stage, they have not unified under a single government. They operate as independent nations with different leaders, priorities, and even military forces." Vazik's antenna perked up. "Go on." "They are competitive with each other," Telara continued. often to the point of conflict. If we could exploit these divisions, we could get them to fight each other instead of us. Vazix finished, his mood improving slightly. Not bad, science officer. There's more, Talara said, switching the display to show various human communication networks. They are also highly susceptible to information manipulation. Their global data network, they call it the Internet, is filled with contradictory information that many of them accept without verification. Vazix's mandibles formed what passed for a smile in his species. So we could potentially turn them against each other without firing a single plasma blast? Interesting. Exactly, sir. Their social systems are already strained by economic inequalities, political differences, and resource conflicts. A small push in the right direction could trigger widespread chaos. And while they are busy fighting among themselves, we quietly extract what we need. Vazix nodded appreciatively. I like this plan. Set up a detailed infiltration protocol. I want our information warfare specialist ready to deploy within the next rotation. Sir, interrupted Lieutenant Moda from the sensor station, we are detecting an unusual signal originating from the northern hemisphere of the planet. Vazix frowned. Define unusual, Lieutenant. It appears to be directed at us specifically, sir, on a frequency that matches our communication protocols. That's impossible, Vazix growled. Those protocols are encrypted with quantum algorithms. Nevertheless, sir, they are hailing us directly. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Should I respond, Commander? Dren asked uncertainly. Vazix drummed his claws on the command table, considering. This went against all standard protocols for pre-acquisition civilizations. But then again, nothing about this mission had followed standard protocols so far. Put it through, he decided finally. Audio only. A moment later, a human voice filled the bridge, speaking in perfect Krivlaxian greetings, under of the vessel currently orbiting Earth at coordinates 42.3601 deg N, 71.0589 deg W. This is Dr. Thomas Fuller of the Earth Defense Initiative. We have been expecting you. The bridge erupted in shocked murmurs. Vazix silenced them with a sharp gesture. This is Commander Vazix of the Krivlaxian Acquisition Fleet, he responded carefully. How did you access this frequency? A light chuckle came through the speakers. Let's just say we have been studying your technology since your advanced scouts arrived 6 months ago. Impressive cloaking systems, by the way. They just don't account for the quantum fluctuations in our upper atmosphere. Vazix shot an accusatory glance at Talara, who looked equally baffled. What do you want, human? Vazix demanded. Oh, I think it's more about what you want, Commander Fuller replied. Our resources, our planet, our elimination as a potential future competitor. Standard procedure for your species, isn't it? Vazix felt a chill run down his exoskeleton. This was not how first contact with pre-FTL civilizations was supposed to go. I'm authorized to offer you a deal, Fuller continued, seemingly unfazed by the silence. Leave our solar system now, and we won't be forced to demonstrate just how creative humans can be when threatened. Several of the bridge officers couldn't suppress their amusement at this. A primitive species threatening a Tier 7 civilization. It was absurd. Vazix recovered his composure. Dr. Fuller, I appreciate your attempt at diplomacy, but perhaps you don't understand the situation. We possess technology that could reduce your major cities to ash in minutes. Oh, we are well aware of your capabilities, Commander, Fuller replied, his tone frustratingly calm. Just as I hope you are becoming aware of ours. Check your secondary storage systems. Frowning, Vazix nodded to Talara, who quickly accessed the ship's database. Sir, she said, her voice tight with alarm, all our tactical files have been replaced. Replaced? With what? Talara hesitated, then activated the main screen. Instead of their detailed invasion plans and weapons specifications, the screen displayed what appeared to be human entertainment videos, creatures in colorful costumes dancing and singing about letters and numbers. What is this? Vazix sputtered. We call it children's educational programming, Fuller explained, barely concealing his amusement. Specifically, that's Sesame Street. My 5-year-old daughter particularly enjoys the counting segments. Pelax was frantically working at his station. Sir, the files aren't just replaced, they are gone. And the intrusion left no trace in our security systems. Impossible. Vazix slammed his appendage on the table. Our systems are quantum encrypted. Yes, about that, Fuller continued. Quantum computing has been a particular interest of mine for some time now. You'd be surprised how quickly theory can become practice when you discover an alien invasion fleet in your backyard. Vazix was seething now. You have made a grave mistake, human? This act of aggression is nothing compared to what you were planning for us, Fuller interrupted. But this was just a demonstration, Commander. It's a small taste of how humans respond when cornered. We don't follow the rules of engagement you are used to. We improvise. We adapt. We use whatever means necessary to survive. Sir, Moda called from his station. We are detecting multiple launches from the planet's surface. Missiles? Vazix asked, already calculating interception trajectories. No, sir. They appear to be small drones. Thousands of them, heading for our position. On the screen, the swarm was visible, now tiny compared to their battlecruiser, but moving with purpose. Just another demonstration, Commander, Fuller explained. Each drone carries a small payload, nothing that could damage your hull significantly on its own. But together? Well, I suppose we will find out. Activate defensive systems. Vazix ordered. Sir, the targeting computers are offline. Pelax reported, panic evident in his voice. They have been compromised. Manual targeting, then. The drones are too small and numerous for effective manual targeting, Talara assessed quickly, and they are accelerating. Vazix returned to the communication. What do you want, Fuller? I told you already. Leave our solar system. Now? And if we refuse? There was a pause before Fuller responded, his voice losing its light tone. Then we will be forced to demonstrate what happens when humans stop playing nice. As if on cue, several proximity alarms blared across the bridge. Sir, Moda shouted. The drones have attached themselves to our hull. They are drilling? Impossible. Our hull is composed of titanium alloy. Nevertheless, sir, they are penetrating at an alarming rate. Vazix made a quick decision. Evasive maneuvers. To get us out of their range. The massive battlecruiser lurched as its engines engaged, pulling away from Earth's orbit. To everyone's shock, the drone swarm adjusted, maintaining formation around the ship. Their coordination is remarkable, Talara observed with professional admiration, despite the circumstances. We are receiving another transmission, Dren announced. Put it through, Vazix ordered. Running away so soon, Commander? Fuller's voice was downright smug now. I should mention that those drones are equipped with small FTL trackers based on your own technology. Wherever you go in this system, they will follow, and they are programmed to burrow deeper every minute. What do these drones contain? Vazix demanded. Oh, nothing too fancy. Just a mixture of what we call thermite and some engineered microorganisms that find titanium particularly delicious. Talara gasped. They have weaponized microorganisms to consume our hull material? Like I said, Commander, Fuller continued, humans play by different rules when our survival is at stake. But history has taught us that being technologically outmatched doesn't mean we are defeated. It just means we get creative. Vazix realized he was facing a choice: retreat and face the humiliation and potential punishment from high command, or stay and risk his ship and crew against an enemy that was proving far more resourceful than anticipated. Sir, Talara said quietly, the drones have penetrated the outer hull layer in multiple locations. At current progression rates, they will reach critical systems within 2 hours. Vazix closed his 4 eyes briefly, calculating his options. To prepare for system-wide jump, he finally ordered. We are retreating to the rendezvous point. A wise decision, Commander, Fuller commented, having apparently overheard. Oh, and one more thing, we have taken the liberty of uploading a message to your ship's primary database. You'll consider it a formal introduction to humanity. I suggest you share it with your superiors. Sir, Dren interrupted. The message appears to be a historical document. It contains detailed accounts of human conflicts throughout their history, with particular emphasis on asymmetric warfare and, something they call guerrilla tactics. Vazix felt a headache building behind his eye stalks. End transmission. The communication cut off, leaving the bridge in tense silence as the crew prepared for the jump. Commander, Telara said hesitantly, if I may, these humans don't behave like any pre-FTL species we have encountered before. No, Vazix agreed grimly. They don't. As the battlecruiser's engines powered up for the jump, Vazix couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that this retreat was exactly what the humans had wanted. They hadn't just detected the Krivlaxian presence, they had prepared for it, studied it, countered it with improbable efficiency. And now, as his ship prepared to flee from creatures who had barely left their own atmosphere, Vazix was faced with a disturbing question. What else were these humans capable of? The ship shuddered as it entered FTL, leaving Earth behind, but Vazix suspected this wouldn't be the last he'd hear from Dr. Fuller and his resourceful species. This wasn't over. In fact, he had the sinking feeling it had only just begun. And somewhere on Earth, Thomas Fuller was smiling. Absolutely unacceptable. Grand Admiral Morax's holographic image towered over the command center, her carapace flushed an angry purple. You retreated? From pre-FTL primates? Vazix stood rigidly at attention, trying not to flinch. Grand Admiral, with respect, these humans have capabilities far beyond our intelligence reports. They somehow reverse-engineered our quantum encryption, compromised our systems, and deployed weaponized microorganisms specifically designed to consume our hull material. Do you hear yourself, Commander? Morax's mandibles clicked rapidly, the Krivlaxian equivalent of a derisive laugh. Next you will tell me they have mastered teleportation and time travel. Science Officer Telara stepped forward, datapad in hand. Grand Admiral, permission to present our findings? Morax waved a dismissive claw. Proceed, Science Officer. Perhaps you can salvage some dignity from this embarrassment. Telara displayed a series of images showing the microscopic analysis of the residue left by the human drones. The humans combined simple chemical compounds with genetically modified bacteria. Separately, neither would pose a threat to our tritanium hulls. Together, they created a reaction that broke down our molecular bonds at an exponential rate. So they got lucky with chemistry, Morax scoffed. Not luck, Grand Admiral, Telara corrected. After analyzing the historical document they uploaded to our database, I have identified a pattern. Humans have a unique approach to warfare. They use their limitations as advantages. Lieutenant Moda nodded enthusiastically. They call it asymmetric warfare. Throughout their history, technologically inferior human forces have repeatedly defeated superior opponents by refusing to engage in expected ways. Are you all seriously suggesting we should fear a species that still burns fossil fuels? Morax demanded. Vazix cleared his throat. Grand Admiral, I believe the humans weren't merely defending themselves, they were sending us a message. They could have destroyed our ship, but chose not to. Morax's eyes narrowed. And what message would that be, Commander? That they are prepared for us, Vazix replied grimly. And that conventional acquisition tactics won't work. Preposterous. Morax slammed her appendage down. Commander Vazix, you are hereby relieved of duty pending formal review. Battle Group Commander Nilax will assume control of the acquisition fleet, and you will return to High Command immediately to face disciplinary action. Vazix's antennae drooped. Yes, Grand Admiral. As for the rest of you, Morax continued, you will provide Commander Nilax with full reports and follow her orders without question. The acquisition of Earth will proceed as planned. We will not be intimidated by primitive mammals who got lucky once. End transmission. The hologram flickered out, leaving the bridge crew in uncomfortable silence. "Well," Tactical Officer Pelax muttered, "that went about as well as a methane leak in a combustion chamber." "She didn't even consider the evidence," Talara said, frustration evident in her voice. "The humans aren't just lucky, they are dangerous precisely because they are underestimated." Vazix turned to his crew. "I have approximately 6 hours before the transport arrives to escort me back to High Command. In that time, I intend to compile a comprehensive threat assessment on humanity. Your assistance would be appreciated." The crew exchanged glances. "Technically, we are supposed to be preparing reports for Commander Nylax," Communications Officer Dren pointed out. "Technically," Vazix agreed with a dangerous gleam in his 4 eyes. "I'm still your commanding officer for the next 6 hours." One by one, the bridge officers nodded their agreement. "I have been analyzing their historical conflicts," Moda offered. "Their approach to warfare is concerning." "How so?" Vazix asked. "Most species follow predictable patterns as they develop first tribal conflicts, then organized armies, then technological warfare. Humans had all three simultaneously for most of their history. While their nations developed nuclear weapons, they were simultaneously fighting guerrilla wars with primitive explosives." Talara pulled up another display, "and their adaptability is remarkable. During one conflict they call World War II, they transformed their entire industrial base from civilian to military production in less than a year. Plus," added Medical Officer Jackson, "they have this concept called total war, the mobilization of all resources, including civilian, to defeat an enemy. Most species consider this barbaric. Humans consider it necessary when threatened." Zix absorbed this information with growing concern. "What about their current military capabilities?" Pelax brought up a global map dotted with military installations, fragmented but substantial. No unified command structure, but thousands of nuclear weapons, millions of conventional troops, and most concerning, a remarkable capacity for rapid innovation under pressure. "Like those hull-eating microbes?" Vazix murmured. "Exactly," Talara said. "They took samples from our scout ships that crashed months ago, identified the molecular structure of our hull material, and developed a targeted weapon in less time than it takes us to approve a new uniform design." "What about this Earth Defense Initiative?" Vazix asked. "The organization our Dr. Fuller represents?" Dren shook his head. "That's another problem. We can't find any record of it in their global communications network. It's either highly classified or what? Or it doesn't exist," Dren finished. "At least not officially." Vazix's mandibles tightened. "You are suggesting Fuller was bluffing?" "Not exactly," Dren clarified. "I'm suggesting that humans might operate effective defensive measures without the formal structures we are accustomed to. Their historical document mentions numerous examples of small, unofficial resistance groups achieving disproportionate results against occupying forces." "A species that doesn't follow protocol," Vazix said thoughtfully. "No wonder our standard acquisition approach failed." A junior officer burst onto the bridge, looking agitated. "Commander, Battle Group Commander Nylax's fleet has just emerged from FTL at the edge of the system." Vazix checked the chronometer. 3 hours early. "She's eager to redeem our failure." "Sir," Talara said urgently, "we need to warn her about the human capabilities." "She won't listen," Vazix replied. "Not after Morax's assessment. Nylax will follow standard acquisition protocols, and she will fail just as we did, except she will likely be less restrained in her response, which could provoke the humans into demonstrating even more advanced countermeasures," Pelax concluded grimly. Vazix paced the bridge, his mind racing. "We need to contact Dr. Fuller again." The crew stared at him in shock. "Commander," Dren said carefully, "that would be a direct violation of Grand Admiral Morax's orders." "Indeed it would," Vazix agreed. "Add it to my list of offenses when I face the tribunal. Open a channel on the same frequency as before." After a tense moment, Dren nodded. "Channel open, sir?" "Dr. Fuller," Vazix began, "this is Commander Vazix." I believe you are about to have more visitors. I recommend you prepare accordingly. There was a brief pause before Fuller's now familiar voice responded. Commander Vazix, I wasn't expecting to hear from you again so soon. Let me guess your superiors didn't appreciate your tactical retreat? This is not a joke, human, Vazix snapped. Battle Group Commander Nilax is approaching with a fleet 5 times the size of my single vessel. She will not be as receptive to your demonstrations as I was. I appreciate the warning, Commander Fuller replied, his tone turning serious. May I ask why you are telling me this? It seems counterproductive to your mission. Vazix hesitated, aware of his crew watching him intently. Because I believe unnecessary conflict can be avoided. Nilax doesn't understand what she's facing. And you do? I'm beginning to, Vazix admitted. Your species doesn't adhere to expected behaviors for your technological level. You are unpredictable, adaptable, and apparently unwilling to follow standard rules of engagement. A chuckle came through the speakers. You make that sound like a bad thing, Commander? It is from our perspective, Vazix replied. The Krivlaxian Acquisition Protocol has successfully integrated 67 planetary systems into our empire. It's based on predictable responses and escalation patterns. You don't fit the model. We humans rarely do, Fuller said, and Vazix could almost hear the smile in his voice. So what are you suggesting, Commander? That we surrender to avoid this larger fleet? No, Vazix said. I'm suggesting that you prepare to demonstrate your capabilities more, conclusively this time. Nilax won't retreat as I did. She will escalate, possibly to planetary bombardment. I see, Fuller replied, suddenly serious. And you are warning us because? Because unnecessary destruction benefits no one, Vazix said firmly. Not us, not you. There was a long pause. I think I misjudged you, Commander Vazix. There may be hope for interspecies diplomacy yet. Sir, Moda called out urgently. Battle Group Nilax is deploying into attack formation. They are launching fighter squadrons. Dr. Fuller, Vazix said quickly. You need to act now if you are going to prevent an attack. Already on it, Commander, Fuller replied calmly. And thank you. Humanity won't forget this. The transmission ended abruptly. Commander, Talara reported, Nilax's fleet is moving into standard orbital assault position. Weapon systems are powering up. And the humans? Vazix asked. No apparent response yet, Palax answered, scanning his readouts. No missile launches, no defensive systems activating. Something's happening with their satellite network. On the main display, tiny dots representing Earth's primitive communications satellites began moving, shifting from their orbits in a coordinated pattern. That's not possible, Dren whispered. Their satellites don't have that kind of propulsion capability. Apparently they do now, Vazix observed dryly. The dots continued to move, forming a grid pattern between Nilax's approaching fleet and the planet's surface. Sir, Moda reported, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from those satellites. They appear to be linking somehow, creating a field between them. A shield? Vazix wondered aloud. Not exactly, Talara answered, analyzing the data. It's more like, oh no. What is it? Vazix demanded. It's a dimensional fold, Talara explained, her voice hushed with awe. They have somehow created a localized spatial distortion using those satellites as anchor points. That's Tier 9 technology. Palax exclaimed. Even we haven't mastered dimensional manipulation on that scale. We are receiving a transmission from Battle Group Commander Nilax, Dren announced. Put it through, Vazix ordered, and the holographic display activated, showing Commander Nilax's agitated face. Vazix. What are these humans doing? Our sensors are detecting spatial anomalies that shouldn't be possible. I tried to warn you, Commander, Vazix replied calmly. These humans don't play by conventional rules. This is absurd, Nilax hissed. No pre-FTL species could possibly. She was interrupted as her image suddenly distorted, flickering wildly. "What's happening?" Vazix asked. "The dimensional fold is expanding," Talara explained, her eyes fixed on her instruments. "It's creating a pocket of altered space-time between Nilax's fleet and Earth." On the display, they watched as the first wave of Krivlaxian fighters approached the satellite grid and simply vanished. "Where did they go?" Vazix demanded. "According to these readings," Talara said in disbelief, "they have been transported approximately 2 light-years from their entry point. They are intact, but completely displaced." Nilax's transmission stabilized briefly. "Vazix, what is happening? Our forward squadrons have disappeared, and 3 of our cruisers are reporting spatial distortions forming inside their hulls." "Pull back, Commander," Vazix advised urgently. "The humans have deployed technology beyond our understanding." "Impossible. I will not retreat from primitives." Nilax snarled just before her transmission cut out completely. "Sir," Moda reported, "the dimensional fold is expanding exponentially. It's now enveloping Nilax's entire fleet." On the tactical display, they watched as, one by one, the dots representing Nilax's ships winked out, only to reappear scattered across a much wider area of space. "They have been displaced throughout the system," Talara confirmed. "Some as far as the Kuiper belt. They are intact, but will require significant time to regroup." "And the human satellites?" Vazix asked. "Returning to their original positions," Pilax reported with grudging admiration. "Whatever they did, they can apparently undo it just as easily." "Incoming transmission from Earth," Dren announced. "It's Dr. Fuller again." "Put him through," Vazix ordered. "I hope that demonstration was sufficient." "Commander Vazix," Fuller's voice came through clearly. "As you can see, we prefer to disable rather than destroy when given the option." "What did you do?" Vazix asked, unable to keep the awe from his voice. "We call it a spatial displacement field," Fuller explained. "Reverse engineered from technology we found in those scout ships that crashed in our oceans. Your FTL drives create fascinating distortions in space-time that we found quite educational." "You developed this technology in months?" Vazix was incredulous. "When properly motivated, humans can be quite industrious," Fuller replied. "Now, I believe it's time we had a proper conversation about the future of relations between our species. One that doesn't involve acquisition or integration into your empire." Before Vazix could respond, the bridge doors slid open, revealing a squad of Krivlaxian security officers. "Commander Vazix," the lead officer announced formally, "by order of Grand Admiral Morax, you are hereby placed under arrest for dereliction of duty, unauthorized communication with the enemy, and treason against the Krivlaxian Empire." Vazix nodded calmly. "I understand. To the communication system," he added, "Dr. Fuller, I'm afraid our conversation will have to be postponed." "Not necessarily, Commander," Fuller replied. "Check your personal communication device." Puzzled, Vazix glanced down at the small unit attached to his uniform, surprised to see it blinking with an incoming transmission code, one he didn't recognize. "We will talk soon," Fuller promised before the channel closed. As the security team led Vazix from the bridge, he couldn't help but notice Talara and the other officers watching him with something that looked suspiciously like respect. Whatever happened next, Vazix knew that humanity had just announced its presence on the galactic stage in a way no one could ignore. 3 weeks later, Vazix sat in his sparse detention cell aboard the Krivlaxian command station, awaiting his tribunal. The doors slid open, revealing Grand Admiral Morax herself, looking considerably less intimidating than her holographic projection. "Commander Vazix," she began without preamble, "your tribunal has been cancelled." Vazix blinked in surprise. "Grand Admiral?" "The Galactic Council has received a diplomatic communication from Earth," Morax continued, her mandibles twitching with what might have been embarrassment. "They have requested formal recognition as a sovereign system and offered to share certain technological innovations in exchange for peaceful relations." "They contacted the Council directly?" Vazix asked, amazed, How did they even know it existed? Apparently, Morax said stiffly, they extracted quite a bit of information from our databases during their incursion into our systems, including contact protocols for the Council. And the Council's response? They have agreed to negotiations, Morax said, sounding as if the words physically pained her. The humans' demonstration of dimensional manipulation technology has elevated their status considerably. I imagine so, Vazix couldn't resist saying. Tier 9 technology from a pre-FTL species would certainly make an impression. Morax's eyes narrowed. Yes, well, there's more. The humans specifically requested that you serve as the Krivlaxian representative in these negotiations. Vazix's antennae shot up in surprise. Me? But I'm a prisoner awaiting trial for treason. Not anymore, Morax said grimly. You have been promoted to diplomatic envoy effective immediately. It seems your unorthodox approach to the humans has earned their trust. I see, Vazix said, struggling to maintain his composure. And the acquisition of Earth? Suspended indefinitely, Morax replied. The Council believes the humans may be more valuable as allies than subjects. She leaned closer. Between us, Commander, I still think these humans just got lucky. But luck or not, they have forced us to change our approach. Don't make me regret this decision. I understand, Grand Admiral, Vazix said solemnly. After Morax left, Vazix activated his personal communicator and entered the mysterious code Fuller had provided. Almost immediately, the small holographic projector displayed Fuller's smiling face. Commander Vazix. Or should I say, Diplomatic Envoy Vazix. Congratulations on the promotion. You seem well informed, Dr. Fuller, Vazix observed dryly. We try to stay on top of things, Fuller replied with a wink. I trust Grand Admiral Morax delivered the news about the negotiations? She did. Though I'm curious why request me specifically. Fuller's expression turned serious. Because you were willing to warn us, even at personal risk. That suggests you value life and peace over blind obedience. Those are qualities we respect. And this dimensional displacement technology? Did you really reverse engineer it from our scout ships? Fuller laughed. Let's just say we played to our strengths. Humans have always been good taking other people's ideas and improving on them in unexpected ways. You bluffed, Vazix realized suddenly. The technology isn't what you claimed. I never said that, Fuller replied with a mischievous smile. I simply said we are good at improvising. The important thing is that it worked, and now we have a chance for peaceful relations instead of conflict. Vazix shook his head in grudging admiration. You humans truly don't play by the rules. We play by our own rules, Commander, Fuller corrected him. And our first rule is survival. Our second is that anything is possible with enough ingenuity. And your third rule? Vazix couldn't help asking. Fuller grinned. Never reveal all your secrets in one conversation. I look forward to our negotiations, Commander Vazix. I think our species have a lot to learn from each other. As the communication ended, Vazix leaned back in his cell, contemplating the strange turn of events. A pre-FTL species that had somehow outmaneuvered the mighty Krivlaxian Empire. Conventional wisdom said it should have been impossible. But then again, conventional wisdom had never encountered humans before. And something told Vazix that the galaxy would never be quite the same again.